The annual Whistleblower Summit for Civil and Human Rights is in full swing here in Washington, D.C. The event is tackling the growing problem of businesses and governments preventing whistleblowers from getting their message out to the public. Joining me now is retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal Matthew Fogg, who presented a panel on criminal justice reform. Matthew, good to see you, my friend. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. Good to see you.
So you hosted this panel. What was the purpose of this annual Whistleblower Summit?
Well, the whole purpose of the summit is awareness, is to make people aware that there are rights and things that we can do to make certain that when people blow that whistle, they should have protections. The government is one of the ways that I know me as a U.S. Marshal, I mean, we had a witness protection program. The only way we were, a lot of times we had to cover for witnesses who were going to come forward and tell us the bad things the bad guys was doing. We had to give them protection. Whistleblower protections and whistleblower laws today create scenarios where a lot of people are afraid to come forward. And the only way we can really get good government services and get things going right is point out the bad sections of the government, anything that's wrong, and it should be corrected. And you got people to come forward and speak about it. And
your role in this summit, can you sort of walk us through some particular cases where it's important to perhaps blow the whistle inside the rank and file, especially within, like you said, law enforcement? Yeah,
that's really important there because of the fact that when we see a lot of things that we're seeing on television today, these cameras where we see people are being excessive force, all of the things that occur. And certainly everybody says, well, it's not all law enforcement, but it really doesn't matter whether it's all law enforcement, because I always tell people don't know who the bad cops are. So if you don't know who the bad person is, you got to identify them. The people who can do that a lot of times are law enforcement officers working in the rank and file. People like myself, we know who the bad guys are, but we know if we speak out against it, then there's a chance that there's going to be repercussions. And it's not just with law enforcement. We had a guardianship panel. We had panels of people that were speaking on different things in life that when it comes down to government services, anytime you speak out, anytime you open your mouth, there's a chance that there's going to be repercussions. So that's what's so important about this summit.
Sure, and I know your background, obviously, you were a whistleblower yourself. What were the circumstances around that? Did you feel that your own life was in danger when that happened?
Oh, no question about it. Again, in law enforcement, it's very easy to meet friendly fire, we call it. But the bottom line is I've had a situation in my case where the officers left me on a stakeout. We were taking down some some dangerous fugitives, and I looked up one day, and the people who were supposed to be there, I was in command, they had left. So we were able to effect the arrest and still with no shots fired, but it was a very dangerous situation. When you're talking about law enforcement officers around the country, again, I say law enforcement people, whistleblowers, they know who the bad cops are. You know, the National Rifle Association always says the only way you deal with a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. I always say the only way you deal with a bad cop is with a good cop. But when those good cops come forward, they have to have protections. The same thing with the Environmental Protection Agency. When people speak out there, anywhere, there's always a chance that there's going to be somebody in that agency that's going to try to come at me.
Well, what are some of the security solutions for these people if their lives are in danger?
Well, again, the bottom line is it's not supposed to be happening, so that's a component that hasn't been effectuated yet. I mean, that's a component that's still out there that we're trying to figure out. How do we provide protections for folks who come forward? Because a lot of times the system will say, oh, you're going to be okay, or there's, you know, we got to investigate it first. We got to look at it first. We got to determine if what you're saying is happening is really happening. In the meantime, you're exposed. One of the movies that we screened was Serpico's latest screening. He's got a documentary coming out. But, you know, Serpico was the famed officer in New York that blew the whistle on the New York NYPD, the, you know, corruption in the department. So anytime anyone comes forward, the whistleblower network is to say this is civil and human rights. And bottom line is anytime you come forward on any of those issues, there's a chance.
Right.
Somebody may be targeting you.
Right, and it sounds like there isn't much infrastructure in place within businesses and within law enforcement to protect whistleblowers just yet. And now you touched on Serpico. Can you tell us more about the the case of the former undercover NYPD detective who reported that wrongdoing, and his life was in danger, correct?
That's exactly right. There was a movie done around him called Serpico. And what he's doing now is another screening, a documentary to kind of go a little more in-depth to talk about some of the challenges that he had when he blew the whistle. So pretty much, I mean, his life was placed in danger. He was shot. Actually, there was an attempt to be made to take his life. This is the danger of any time you're dealing with people with badges and guns. There's always a chance that, you know, again, there's easy. We have unfettered discretion out there on the street a lot of times. And so it's very important to understand, for people to understand that. Now, whistleblower protections is some of the things that we're working on in Congress. They passed the law, whistleblower protections, but still it's not enough. I mean, there are things that still needs to be done to enhance the protections, to make certain that, just like we have in our witness protection program, where we protect people that come forward who blow the whistle on organized crime.
Right.
They have to have protection.
And certainly people like you advocating for such things to be put in place. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. Former DEA agent and U.S. Marshal Matthew Fogg.
Thank you.
Whistleblower Summit for Civil and Human Rights. About Washington Whistleblower Week. Beginning in May 2007, members from the Make It Safe Coalition, miscellaneous, have arranged an assembly of whistleblowers in Washington, D.C. each year for an annual conference originally known as Washington Whistleblowers Week. The original purpose of which was multifaceted and manifold. Purpose and goals. Highlight the special projects and accomplishments of the whistleblowers and NGOs in the Make It Safe Coalition. Come together to defeat the isolation experienced by whistleblowers and create a sense community among individual whistleblowers and the NGOs that support us. Provide a meaningful mutual support network for whistleblowers and our advocates across the country, the globe. Provide lobby training for the whistleblower community to support the passage of important legislation related to transparency, whistleblowing and the First Amendment. Publicize the successful efforts of NGOs, whistleblowers, and our advocates, and provide media training to individual whistleblowers to broaden our access to the media. Place whistleblowing in its proper historical context, and redefine whistleblowers as beneficial and integral to democratic society and champions of the Constitution and First Amendment. Change the public perception of the term whistleblower from being a pejorative to being patriotic persons of conscience. Finally, to connect whistleblowers and First Amendment advocates to the broader civil rights and global human rights movements. Today, this annual conference is now known as the Whistleblower Summit for Civil and Human Rights. We recently celebrate the 25th anniversary of the passage of the Whistleblower Protection Act, and we have embarked upon a national campaign to recognize National Whistleblower Appreciation Day. The theme for this year's conference is Whistleblowers Protect Freedom and Democracy. Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but we must take it because our conscience tells us that it is right. Martin Luther King, Jr. Make It Safe Coalition. Over the past dozen years, members of the miscellaneous have passed 13 laws, including No Fear and the WPEA, conducted congressional lobby days, provided CLE training, written op-eds, published magazines and books, hosted radio shows, provided mentoring and lawyer referrals, penned sign-on letters, submitted amicus briefs, written columns and law review articles, made television appearances, held protest rallies at the White House and on the National Mall. We've even occupied government agencies. And hosted both national and regional conferences in Washington, D.C., New York, New York, Baltimore, MD, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, IL, Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, CA, Little Rock, AR. It is an impressive list of accomplishments when you consider all of the stigmatism and stress that individual whistleblowers face at the hands of the government and evil corporations. Together, the miscellaneous community has achieved impressive results. The purpose of the Whistleblower Summit for Civil and Human Rights is to celebrate the collective achievements of whistleblowers and our advocates.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done... for life hating so much. Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before,
Sheriff's getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal. And there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that's that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So, yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, now we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now, where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran on, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran on no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.